Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line, your concierge for inquiring about this or any watch on our platforms. Email me for pricing. I am tmosso@thewatchbox.com. In 2021, Porsche and TAG Heuer announced that they would be forging a link to create high-luxury watches branded by both marks. And in 2022, we got the watch you see here in stainless steel with DLC. This is the 1,500-piece limited edition TAG Heuer Carrera Porsche Limited Edition. It's 44 millimeters in diameter. It's 15.3 millimeters thick. It's 49.5 millimeters from lug tip to lug tip with a nice modern 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We'll throw it on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and as you can see, the watch fits. It's large though, so I'm going to recommend that if you wear this watch, you have a wrist at least my size or larger. So 16 centimeters circumference and up. Here's the cuff shot, so you know how it'll fit under a sleeve. Here's your down the barrel shot. The lugs are not over the edge of my wrist, you can see that, but they're close, which is why I say 16 centimeters circumference and up. The strap is a lovely piece, looking like nothing so much as Porsche upholstering, which, by the way, can be customized. There's a combination of a textile-like pattern embossed on the calfskin and a contrasting stitch. Not one, not two, not three, but four contrasting stitches, not just like upholstery, but also like Porsche racing stripes. A folded edge. You can see that we have that signal yellow on the bottom, and the underside of the strap is inlaid with rubber to isolate the leather from the moisture, heat, sweat, and grit of the wrist, so you can expect this to be a long-wearing, high-durability strap. You can also see it's bolstered. It's got some stuffing close to the lugs to add a little bit of volume. Then we have a clasp, likewise, in DLC. And you could see that it has a twin trigger release system, a combination of polish and satin, and then a crimping system. So we don't actually, by the way, take a quick look. You can see this is stainless steel DLC. You see how there's no perforations in the strap? This crimping system lets you tuck the strap in, crimp it down, and then once that's done, there's no extra length visible, no strap minder loops, no extra length externally. It's all tucked underneath the clasp body. And because of the twin triggers, this clasp will not open inadvertently. It features the famous Carrera lines, first coined by the Heuer Company in 1963. The lugs are integrated, sharp, thrusting, angular. You can see they're squared off on their ends, even though they are definitely not square in profile. Satination with a combination of polish and satin, giving it a little bit of a two-tone shade. Not two colors, but two tones, definitely. The satination continues on the bezel, which has both polish and satination. You can see the outer face is satin. The primary face, which features the tachometric scale, is polished. And then you can see the yellow hash mark scale inboard, which can be used for reading chronoseconds and minutes. That's actually satinated. So we have satin, polish, and satin. Take a quick look. Porsche, there is no substitute. You could make Porsche branded watches a collection theme. Over the years, we've had Porsche design IWC collaborations. We've had Porsche branded watches that are actually made by Porsche. We've had Porsche branded watches made by Omega and Chopard, and we have had Porsche branded watches made by TAG Heuer, and that's the bare minimum. There may be others I'm missing, but this is a welcome entry to the canon because the Carrera has long been the motorsports chronograph alongside the Monaco at Heuer. Sure, there have been a few others associated with auto racing, but the Carrera, named after the Carrera Panamericana, at which Porsche won in 1954, that has always been the quintessential Heuer and later TAG Heuer motorsports chrono. Now, there's a little dished chaptering inboard with a satin finish against which you can read partial seconds. And I mentioned reading the tachymeter scale, these yellow hashes against the chronograph seconds hand. The way this works is you start when a car begins a kilometer and you stop when it finishes the kilometer. So, for example, if it took a car that long, you would know it's going 400 kilometers per hour. So that's more of an airplane speed, but that's how the tachymeter works. Generally, you start with standardized distance, like a kilometer, and you read in kilometers per hour. That's how you use the tachymeter. The dial base, as you can see, let me clean this up a little bit, has a little bit of a sparkle pattern to it. And then you can see that we have sort of granular sandpaper-like grained profiling for the sub-registers, a combination of white and black and yellow, And then we have applique numerals, and look that they went with double digits. This is like a second generation Rolex Air King, realizing that 05 is better balanced against 55 than just 5 by itself. We'll do a loom shot here. As you can see, the watch is fairly well loomed, and the sub-registers themselves are luminescent. Now, the movement is Heuer's own. There has been some change to the nomenclature. Heuer 02 has been renamed for 2003, but as of 2002, it was still called the Heuer 02. And there's a lot to love. First of all, column wheel action, and you can see the column wheel here colored yellow. It's one of the crispest and most positive I've encountered. It's very sharp. It feels good. It sounds good. Also, vertical clutch engagement. You can see that when I start up the chronograph, it starts without any jump or stagger. Also, because of the vertical clutch, if you like to leave your chrono engaged full time, you can. No hazard to the movement. The subtext doesn't lie. Automatic winding, 80-hour power reserve, and I think in this generation of the 02, it was a unidirectional winder. You can also see that the watch features a hacking or stop seconds function if you want to synchronize it to a reference time. And then we also have a quick set date down at 6 o'clock. Flip it all over. You can see the movement features a rotor that looks like an automotive, specifically Porsche, steering wheel. It's blackened with a combination of satin and media blast. This is a 33-jewel automatic winder. You can see Edicron is used for fine adjustment as well as beat error correction. We have stripes across the bridges, satinated wheels, polished screws, all of it quite comely. 100 meters water resistant, so on a different strap you can take this Porsche branded watch swimming. And of course, it is, after all, a Carrera, and if you're going to own just one Heuer or TAG Heuer, it's probably going to be a Monaco or a Carrera. Those are the immortals. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details. Oh, and I'm sure someone's going to ask, it has a 4 hertz beat rate.